Hello everyone, welcome back for day 2 in our lesson of our God of Peace. Yesterday we started looking a little bit into Gideon's life and kind of how God found him and called him and kind of started communicating with him. And we looked a little bit into Gideon's disbelief maybe of this, and maybe even slight rejection of, God, are you sure you've got the right person? So today we're going to go a little bit further in Gideon's story, and we're going to look at kind of the crisis of Gideon, the call of Gideon, and also the consolation of Gideon. So if we see and we look into the crisis of Gideon, it was as much about him as it was about the spiritual and the political condition of the entire nation. He was filled with insecurities, and he felt inadequate to do anything about Israel's situation. Even when the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said, "The Lord is with you," Gideon protested in Judges 6:12 through 13, "If the Lord is with us, why has all of this happened to us?" The ragged edge of fear and frayed nerves, along with his desperate attempt for survival just on his own, caused him to bluntly voice his doubt and to bluntly say, "I don't see any evidence of God being with us. Are you sure God is with us?" And this was kind of, his look. He was a man of insecurity who dared not believe that God was present to do anything about their situation because he had not seen this so far. This was a moment of conflicted emotions and a crisis of his faith in the God and in the covenant at the time. However, as we look into this, the call of Gideon was direct and clear. But God was patient with his negative responses. Gideon needed some convincing. It wasn't enough to see an angel or to even speak with God's representative. He needed more assurance that this was indeed God calling him to lead a rebellion against the oppressive tyrants who were keeping them down. The Midianites were a stronger people. They were well-fed, obviously, stealing their crops, and numerous compared to the people of Israel. This calling had to be more than just a delusion of a half-starved man grasping for a solution to the problem. He had to make sure that it wasn't just his own crazy idea, this thing that came to him while he was by himself threshing wheat, and say, maybe I could lead the people of Israel out of this oppressive thing. He had to make sure for himself that it wasn't just his own crazy idea. So we see that God had confidence in Gideon, not just in what he would become, but also who he presently was. He said in Judges 6:14, "Go in the strength that you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand." Then the Lord also asked him, "Am I not sending you?" God repeated his directive to Gideon and also assured him of his powerful presence, that he was going to be with Gideon. Still, Gideon was not convinced. His inferiority still prevailed. He lamented to God, "My tribe is weak, my family is weak, and I am the weakest in my family." It was ironic that God chose to appear to the one who was the most inadequate in his own estimation. Gideon respectfully declined the calling of the Lord. "Pardon me, my Lord, but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh." And this was his view. But God's calling is what makes all the difference. Yes, God qualifies those who he calls, but sometimes he also calls the qualified. But he still may have to convince them that they have the ability to accomplish the mission that he has given. God was patient and comforting to the reluctant deliverer of Israel. His assurance was the consolation of Gideon. "I will be with you," said the Lord, "and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." This must have been astonishing and somewhat frightening assertion from God to Gideon. The qualifier was God's promise to be with him. Gideon had no confidence in himself. The only hope he had for success was found in the promise of God's accompaniment. God with us makes all the difference. If God is with us, we can be assured of his ability to accomplish the calling, no matter how impossible the circumstances seem to be. God bless you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and join us back tomorrow for day 3.